Joining me now is Bob Osmond, the Chief Information Officer for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Bob, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jake. It's great to be here. Really,
Thank
really
you.
a pleasure.
So, Bob, we're talking all things IT modernization today, right? And one of the things that I find really interesting about you in particular, in addition to being kind of a stellar strategic leader in state government for many years, you also have that experience both from the commercial side as well as from an agency CIO side, and now as that statewide CIO side. So, when you're looking at all of those different missions
Mhm,
of those agencies that you now serve and have been serving as CIO of Virginia, how do you go about kind of finding that right blend, that right
mhm.
mix of solutions and goals and strategies to make modernization work?
Sure. Well, it starts by recognizing that as we tackle the problem and challenges of modernization, that is very much a team sport. You're going to have people from industry, our industry partners, our vendors that are bringing solutions to the table. You're going to have agencies with their own unique perspectives because these are their systems that they're trying to modernize, those systems that have to support the missions in their space. And then you're going to have a point of view at the enterprise that looks at how do we try to standardize and achieve best value and do it as safely and securely as best we can. And so you have these multiple points of view that are all coming together, but they do need to come together, and it can come together because as we look at meeting the need, and the need is massive. Of all these different systems, then I think we're all going to have to work together in order to make that happen.
So when you think about all those pieces of the puzzle to bring that together and all those different things that are required to make that happen, I mean, how do you get folks on board and how do you keep them on board as you kind of go through that process? I know as someone who's now managed a couple of people that the personality side of management and the personality side of getting people together to make a decision is always a challenge, right? So how do you work with them to sort of bring everyone together using that experience that we highlighted there at the top to make something like this happen?
Sure. Part of it has to do with understanding, conveying that I'm on their side, that we're in this together. We're part of the same team. They're trying to modernize their systems to achieve better outcomes, to better serve their citizens. I am with them 100%. So there's no daylight between our shared goals. Um, Part of it has to do with the fact that I was an agency CIO. So I walked their shoes. I was in their world. I was attending all the meetings with them as we talked about different ways of how we can get more value and solve the problems that we're trying to solve in the agency. So I've served in the trenches with them. I've also been a vendor to them, so I understood what it's like to be part of that vendor community to create solutions that we really passionately wanted to deliver because we all cared about the public sector and serving our friends and family that are the constituents that we're trying to help. And so starting with that shared mission, once we connect to realize that, hey, I get them, that I understand what they're trying to accomplish, then it becomes not a question over what, but it's a question of the how. What is the best way to proceed? And so there you're looking at how do we bring the best thinking from industry, the best thinking from the agency that they know what they need, and the best thinking really from the enterprise, where I have the opportunity of looking at 65 different agencies and all the various ways that they're solving, in many cases, very similar problems. How do we bring those to bear and say, I can solve this problem for you one way? It's going to cost X, Y, Z. I can get it done in 2 to 3 months. Or if you want to take it a different way, we could go look at the market and then we can run an RFP. That might take maybe a year to a year and a half. So let's talk about what you're trying to accomplish and the best way to get it done, because there are definitely easy ways and there are less easy ways that we can use to bring those solutions to bear. And I think once we start talking about the how and the why, and really explaining the different alternatives on the table, that's when we're able to really understand that we're working together, on this problem, and able to find something that works for everybody.
And when you think about a state like Virginia, it's not just agencies that we're talking about, right? I mean, there's the
Mm-hmm.
Department of Health, there's Department of Transportation, which you used to be a part of, and
Mm-hmm.
when you think about that, there's also other institutions and other less aligned direct governmental missions that you can think of. I mean, what does that? How does that change the calculus? How does that sort of change the way that you sort of look for that approach to sort of get everyone on the same page?
Yeah, right. So Jake, I think within Virginia, and every state's different. I recognize every state's different. We have what we call a decentralized environment. It's federated. There are agencies that I directly work with on a day-to-day basis. They take advantage of my cybersecurity tools, my infrastructure, my application solutions, my platforms. And then there's other agencies that are much more independent. There's other branches of government. There's localities. There's higher education. There's K through 12. There's all these different public sector entities that really interact in a very different way. And so, but what we found is that we all have the shared goals in mind of how do we better serve the citizens that are our customers, and everyone's always looking for good ideas. And so, I found some great success working with, say, the localities because they have their own organization. It's called Valguide here in Virginia, and they're always looking for better ways and different ways of buying things and getting value more for the dollars. They're looking for different ideas and platforms and shared experiences. They talk to each other on their own just to understand how they can learn from each other. So all of these are different ways that they can take advantage of different technology innovations and solve their problems. So even though we have a very diverse environment, that doesn't mean we can't work together, and we do work together. And a lot of it is sometimes the best things happen when we're able to come together as a group and try to collectively solve these problems together.
And then sort of to close us out here to wrap it up, one of the key things that we've heard in today's event is sort of the changes in what modernization itself has come to mean over the last couple of years, and maybe even longer, maybe a couple decades.
Mhm.
You know, One of the key challenges that presents, though, is that as a leader and as you're strategizing for the future, you are kind of chasing a moving target, right? You're chasing something
Mhm.
that's changing so much. So how are you kind of prioritizing that modernization and prioritizing that change, kind of without that end date, without knowing exactly where the whole effort ends?
Mhm.
How are you sort of building the strategy to keep yourself and to keep your state sort of on the right path?
Well, what's super exciting about tech is that it's always changing. I mean, there's always something new. There's new innovations, new capabilities, new ideas. We're having conversations around artificial intelligence that we never had 5 years ago. Um, and so the state of what we consider modern is very different and it's evolving. I mean, if you asked me what was modern 5 years ago, I would have given you an answer around certain types of operating systems, maybe using certain capabilities in the cloud, maybe looking at virtualized servers instead of physical, looking at different ways of handling containerization and platform technologies, and maybe some automation and some different ways like that. Um, Now it's a completely different ballgame. I mean, there are new technologies that have emerged that are extremely exciting, like putting in conversational interfaces, maybe building out large language models, building out agentic AI that can embed within our processes, moving to serverless functions. These are all very exciting things. And when I look at what's happening in the technology space, it's extraordinarily exciting. So what I would consider modern 5 years ago is not modern today. And so that's part of the joy of what we're doing as technology leaders is to be aware and be constantly learning about what are these opportunities to deliver the best solutions to our citizens, because ultimately our citizens are very savvy. I mean, they're trained by companies like AWS and Amazon Prime and different types of e-commerce solutions through Instagram and Facebook, and it's created a certain expectation for how they should interact with technology, and government needs to step up to meet that expectation. And I think we can. I think we will. And that's part of the exciting part about what we're going to be doing in the future as we build out the next generation of systems and software for our citizens. I think there's some really great stuff coming. I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome. We are too. That's why we have events like the IT Modernization Summit. We're super excited and super
Yeah,
thankful, Bob, for you for being a part of this and for being here. Thank you so much.
my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to our audience, stay tuned for more from today's IT Modernization Summit.